Howdy ho everybody, welcome back to the Real Rocks Roost. It's time to do some planting. If you saw our earlier episode, Tilling the Garden, I'll put a card up there if you haven't seen it. You can pause this video, go watch that one and come back. We're going to be planting potatoes and onions today. Today being March the 27th, 2025. It's about 55 degrees out here, sunny. Very, very light breeze, almost no breeze. And we've got the small tiller. This was the what? If you watched the first one, you'll recall which one this is. That's right, this is the Troy-built pony. And we've got special guests. Here's Ted. Say hi, Ted. Ted wags his tail. He acknowledges our existence. Pepper's laying out there in the garden. Buddy is over there. And there's a puppy around here somewhere. I saw him over there by the compost pile. I guess he's being shy. Anyway, so what we're going to do first is we're going to till up the potato patch and the onion patch. We're just going to till up some more ground here. And after I do that, I will show you how we prepare the potatoes to plant. And we'll plant them along with some onions. The onions are a little bit more straightforward. I'll see you in a little bit. We'll go ahead and start up the tiller and get it going. All right, so here we are with the Troy-built pony. Again, this one has the Predator engine on the front, but everything else is the Troy-built part, the part that digs. And we're going to start it up. Dad's here with me again. I'm going to video it, record while he is starting the tiller. So you want to go over there now and show us how it works? Get around here so everybody can see. All right, so there's an on-off switch there that turns the magneto on. So the spark plug gets fire. And again, we'll walk over here. And you start it right up. Okay. Dad's going to demonstrate. Remember, we have our homemade dead man switch here, the little string that goes on the wrist. Push that button down, the times start moving. You turn the other lever, it puts the thing in drive, and off you go. I'll move over here so you can see a little better. Alrighty, the swallows have noticed that we've dug up the ground. I don't know if you can see, sitting on the wire right there is a bird. That's a tree swallow. We have these every year. There's another one up there on the fiber optic wire. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right place, but there's several of them flying around here, and they live in these bird houses you see around. There's one there, there's another one up there, and all over the place. There's another one. You can see they're real interested in that big tall one there. Anyway, they're a lot of company here in the garden, and they're smart. They know that when we dig up the ground that worms and things might come to the surface. So you might see them get down on the dirt over there. I doubt I'll be a quick enough draw. You can see them there flying through the air for you to see them well, but nevertheless, they are here. They're so quick. It's really hard to video them. Ted's found something interesting. He's going to eat some grass. Maybe he has a tummy ache. I don't know. Well, now we're going to cut the potatoes up and prepare them for planting. So I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, now it's time to cut up the seed potatoes. You see Dad's been working on it here. You can see them there in the bucket. What we have in this bag is seed potatoes. There, Dad holding one up for us. This is a variety called Kennebec. It's a really old Irish type potato. And so you want to cut them up so that there's at least 2 eyes on every piece. The bigger the piece you put in the ground, the more fuel the plant has to grow on. So you can just cut these in half pretty much. It's a good way to go. But if you don't have at least 2 eyes on every piece, then the chance of it sprouting is significantly less. It's just for the same reason you usually plant 2 seeds. Every time you plant seeds in a row, you usually plant 2, because you want to guarantee sprouting. You don't want any empty spots in the garden. So for that same reason, you cut your potatoes up so there's 2 eyes. And again, the bigger the piece, the more fuel the plant has to start with, because that's the real reason these potatoes exist. They're tubers. It's a special root type structure for storing starch. And it's just like the yolk in a chicken egg. It's there to give the baby the energy it needs to get growing and get started strong until it can get its own food. In the case of a chicken, it's corn or bugs or whatever your chickens may eat. In the case of potatoes, it's sunlight and nutrients from the earth. So I'm going to get in here and help Dad cut some of these potatoes, and then we'll plant them. I'll show you how that works. Okay, so here in the bag are the potatoes. Let's get one out. And I'll show you up close the cutting process. So here's what it looks like real close. You see there are the eyes. That's where those sprouts are coming out. That's called an eye. Now this is a seed potato. This is a potato that was grown last year and was kept for seed. You can do this yourself. You can save your own seed potatoes, or you can go to a local farmer's co-op and buy seed potatoes from them. They're usually relatively cheap. I bought these at the local Southern States Co-op. 7 pounds cost $4.42, I think. So relatively inexpensive. You could buy potatoes in the grocery store. Some of them have been sprayed with something to retard sprouting. But I'm sure you've noticed, if you bought grocery store potatoes before and you didn't use them all in a timely fashion, I'm sure you've noticed they sprout in the box in the kitchen. So if you want to use those, you probably could use those fine. Just make sure it's a variety you like, because obviously you're not going to get a different kind of potato than what you already had. So if you find a potato in the grocery store that you really love, well, try to plant it, see if it does anything. Might not, but it might. So anyway, let's I'm sure I can't cut this potato one-handed. So I don't know how to do it. Would you hold it? All right, so again, these are the eyes, and we're just going to cut it in half. That way we're going to have plenty of eyes. All right, so on this half we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyes. On this one we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's plenty. I mean, you could be stingy, honestly, and cut these in half again. But again, you're robbing the plant of that useful starch that it will use to grow and be strong. So as cheap as seed potatoes are, you know, just cut them in half. But if we're in a depression time, okay, you just know you could cut these in half again if you really need to. All right, then we just put them in the bucket. And that's it. And then don't put your knife in your pocket with potato starch all over it. That's it. Okay. So again, once we get all these cut up, we'll stick them in the ground, but I'll show you how that works. What's up, Sophie? What you doing? Hi, this is Sophie. I don't think y'all have met her before. This is actually, she lives down the road, but she comes and hangs out when we do garden work and stuff. Oh, I stuck my thumb in your eye. I'm so sorry. Please forgive. Ain't she cute? She has a brother named Smokey. He's not here right now, but he looks a lot like her. He's just a lot whiter. And Sophie has no tail. How about that? So she didn't have to worry about the rocking chair or anything like that. Hey Ted, what do you think? Are you excited? Okay. Alrighty, so Dad and I are going to walk down through here. The first thing we're going to do is lay off the row for the potatoes. Let's see hold the hoe back up so we can see it, Dad. All right, this is called a layoff hoe or a row hoe, but it's a layoff hoe. You see it's a triangle shape instead of a square shape. So you just stick it down in the ground and pull it. That's all there is to it. So you'll see here Dad's eyeballing his path. You just stick it in there. And we're creating a row that's, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches deep, not super deep. And you just back up through there. Always do it backwards. Don't try walking forward with this. It doesn't work. Very good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the potatoes and put them down in there. You want to lay off the other row or just fill this one up first?
The row for the onions? Let's see how this
goes. This is all our potatoes you think will fit in this?
Pretty close.
Okay, that'll be fine. We're not planting a huge amount of potatoes today, so okay. So let's go get the potatoes, and then we'll stick them in here. Again, this isn't rocket science, but it's fun. What do you say, Soph? You know, when the tree swallows fly over, you can see their shadows. And I'll tell you, even though it's extremely brief, when you're out here working in the garden and the summer sun's beating down on you, when that little shadow of a tree swallow flies over your forehead, it's such a welcome treat. So to plant the potatoes, you just take 2 pieces, drop them in the row, and then gently step on them with your toe. That's just to push them in so they get good contact with the earth. Plop 2 pieces down, give them a little compress with your foot. 1, 2, and that's all there is to it. Remember what I said last time about dogs loving tilled ground? Look here.
You're gonna have to move, girl.
She wants to be right in on the action. It doesn't matter whether the cut side's up or down. No, Sophie, you can't eat the potatoes. Come here, Soph. Come on.
Girl.
Good girl. She's a good girl. Yeah. She's a good one. All right, so you just drop them in, step on them, and then here in a minute we'll come back through and cover them up. Pepper says, "What are you planting? Is it good to eat?" Well, it will be when they grow up and we dig them and boil them or bake them and put some butter on them. But seed potatoes are not very good to eat. I remember when I was a kid, we would plant huge amounts of potatoes and I would get bored. One of the first jobs I had was cutting up the seed potatoes. And I would sit over there under a tree. The tree's not there anymore, but there used to be trees right along in here. I'd sit right in there under that tree and cut up seed potatoes and eat them. They didn't taste very good, but you know, you're a bored kid. You do all kinds of weird stuff. anything to pass the time. We're almost done. Poor old Dad's having to do all the work. That's okay.
Well, we didn't hardly have enough room.
Okay. Well, how many have we got
We're
left?
out there because of our fence.
Yeah, I know. How many have we got here? Oh, yeah, we got a few. So, okay. So we're going to make another short row somewhere. And then I'll do that off camera. And then I'll show you how we cover them up. Okay, now it's time to cover them up. So Dad is just going to take the regular hoe, the gooseneck hoe, and just lightly cover them with soil. You put them in the ground about, I don't know, maybe twice the depth of the seed potato piece, something like that. Just cover them up. And they'll sprout pretty quickly. The ground is already well on its way to getting warm. And once the ground gets nice and warm, in a week or two, they'll start growing like weeds. We're not going to water them today because it's going to rain tomorrow, and there's going to be several rainy days. Tomorrow is Friday. Saturday, Sunday, and possibly Monday, it's going to rain for a total of about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, according to the forecast. It's impossible to say, of course, but it certainly does look like rain. The old-fashioned signs are pointing to it as well. So, since it's going to rain, there's no need in us watering these potatoes. The good Lord will do that for us. And there's Sophie in the middle of the action again. I don't know what to do without a dog. One of the great benefits of having a bamboo patch right next to the garden is a ready supply of stakes. So Dad's going to go over there and cut us some stakes, and we'll mark our potato rows. Very convenient. Yeah, that's a little bit better brightness wise. Hello, Sophie. You want to talk onions? Huh? Do you like onions? No. Dogs don't like onions. Don't ever feed your dog onions or garlic. It's bad for their liver. Hey, buddy. How you doing, buddy? There's Buddy. He's wanting to make an appearance. Now Sophie's jealous. Hee hee hee. Okay, so we're going to talk onions with our two pals, Sophie and Buddy here. I've got two kinds of onions to plant. And we're going to be planting onion sets. There's two main ways you can plant onions. Well, there's three really. There's onion sets, onion seeds, and onion plants. You can transplant little baby plants. Pepper's going to help us too. Okay, I've got two kinds of sets today, red and white. Inside this big bag here, I have red sets. I'll pull some out and show you what they look like. All right, there. These are red onion sets. You can see it's just a little baby onion bulb. Okay, I think one of them is already starting to sprout. Yeah, so these guys are ready to go, and so is Ted. So now we have more help. So you just take these and stick them down in the ground. You just set them down in the ground, and they'll grow. And after a few weeks, you'll have green onions, if that's what you want, or you can grow them for longer and have nice big onions like you might cut up and put on a hamburger or something like that. I like to grow red ones because they have some of the best taste. They're nice and sweet when you grow them right, And nothing better on a salad or a hamburger than a big slice of a red onion. But for green onions or scallions, I prefer white onion sets. Now, when you buy them at your farmer's co-op, they'll come, or the grocery store. Around here, you can just buy them at the grocery store by the pound, usually this time of year. Usually they'll have white, red, or yellow, and yellow onion sets. And when you buy them by the pound, you just get them in a sack like this. Let's see if I can hold it. You can see them down in there? There's a bunch of them in there. Just buy them by the pound. Or I also got some at the local Walmart. That's another way to get onion sets. They usually also have red, white, and yellow onion sets. So this is our old potato bag here. These are how they'll come if you buy them at Walmart. They're going to be more expensive at Walmart, but they're good. I mean, they're still a pretty good price. You get 100 bulbs for almost $3.50. These are white. You can see there's full planting information on a card, which I'm going to show you how to do that so you don't need to worry about it. But if you're doing this on your own, it can be good to buy them from Walmart or from a seed catalog or something, because they'll come with instructions. And the ones you get at the grocery store are not going to come with instructions, but they're real simple. I mean, you have to work hard to screw this up. Okay. Again, the white onion sets, I'll hold this up so you see. They're just like the red ones, they're just white. Okay, and this is a plastic bag, not a paper bag, but I don't know if you can see, there's holes in it there, you can see. That's for ventilation. Don't ever close your onion sets up in a plastic bag without some kind of ventilation, because the moisture will get trapped in there and they'll rot really, really quickly. Onions do not like excess moisture. That goes for the sets before you plant them, and also when they're in the ground. Don't forget that. They like it to be, they don't like to be dried out, but they like it to be well drained, and they don't like more water until the rest of the water they've used is already, about gone. So don't keep your onions soaking wet. But you can grow them in a container, you can grow them in a raised bed, or you can grow them in the garden. You can grow them out in the middle of the yard if you wanted to. Just scratch up some dirt and stick them in there. Again, they're called onion sets for a reason. The ground around here is real good for onions. I'll tell you, let me show you something. There's wild onions that grow around here. I don't remember if I've showed these to you or not. But here they are, growing in the ground. These things right here. These are wild onions, okay? As you can eat these. I don't like them, but I get, some people on the internet claim to eat them, but I tell you, if you go around eating these around here, that people will think you're crazy. These are very bad. And if you have a milk cow that's milking, you don't want her to get into a pasture where there's a lot of these, or if she does, you want to wait a while, a couple weeks, I guess, for the onions to get all the way out of her system, because it taints the milk and makes it taste terrible. But yeah, these are wild onions. You probably also heard the honeybees. I don't know if you saw them, but they're busy today in this purple stuff. This is called death nettle. And you see this around here. You see this all the time, this time of year. It's all over the place. Over there by the old strawberry patch, you see all that. The bees just love it. It's one of the earliest flowers that they can get nectar from. Death nettle. Also, wild violets are starting to bloom now, so they really love that. Over here we have violets and the death nettle. Bees are more sensitive to purple flowers than any other color. So the first flowers that bloom are usually purple because of coevolution and that kind of thing. Again, there's a nice view of the death nettle, if I can get it in focus. There you go. And then the wild violets over here. I'm shading them out. There we go. There's a nice view of the wild violets. These are nice. You can pick the flowers and treat them with sugar water and make candied violets. They make a really nice candy for humans. Another flower that comes up early is right over here, again, I'm shading it. Here we go. You see this small purple flower? That's the flower on what we call creeping Charlie, which is actually a terrible weed, but it does provide a flower that the bees can use, so it's not all bad. Over here are some more violets. This is the time of year that these wild violets just love to bloom. They're so beautiful. But we're not here really to talk about bees or violets. We're here to talk about onions. So let's do that. All right, so we're here to talk about onions, not flowers. What I'm going to do is open up my plastic bag of onions. And I'm not going to plant all these right now. I've got about 100 white sets. I probably have 125, 150 red sets. All of a sudden I smell smoke. Hope there's not a wildfire. I'm only going to, I don't even know if I'll plant half of them. If you want green onions throughout the season, you will want to plant them in increments. Now, since I'm wanting to grow mature onions with the red ones, I'm still going to plant some now and some later, but since you want the maximum amount of growth time, we have a very long growing season, so I can stagger my red ones. But if you live up north where there's a short growing season, first of all, don't be planting onions in March, but you'll want to plant your onions you want to grow to maturity all at once so you can take advantage of the entire growing season. But if you live in the mid-Atlantic southern states, two southern states like I do, we're in southern Appalachia here again, you can stagger this. You can plant some, say you want green onions, you can plant some of your green onions now, and in a couple weeks plant some more, and a couple weeks more plant some more. Onions will do fine through most of the summer as long as you keep them watered. If you're in a place that turns off dry, which these days almost everywhere does. So we're going to take a few of these sets out here. I'll stick them in the ground and show you how easy it is to plant onions. See you in a bit. Okay, so while I was sitting there talking about the onions, Dad alerted me that the smoke was actually coming in behind us. I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but it is, there's a lot of smoke. It's just rolling in like crazy. And there was some ash just blowing in. So there's a wildfire somewhere nearby. Don't know where. It's been real dry lately, a lot of wind, and a lot of low IQ individuals. So you end up with this every now and then. If everything catches on fire here in the next few minutes, I'll record, but otherwise I'm just going to plant onions. Okay, so update on the smoke. We're looking southwest. Right here, you see that what looks like a cloud in the sky? That's actually smoke. It's coming up in a big billow and going all the way across the sun and just stretching out the entire sky. Now we're looking to the east. And some of it is getting down here. Of course, you see that haze. I don't know, there's a pretty big fire somewhere. It could be down in Tennessee, or it could be over in a place called Flatwoods. Not sure, but I wonder if that's what that helicopter was looking at.
Could have been.
You know, I don't know if you heard it on the video, but there was a helicopter overhead while I was talking about onions. Could have been a fire spotter. Yeah, we got a pretty significant wildfire going here. We're pretty fortunate in that we don't have too many wildfires in this area. But, you know, when it's dry and it's windy, and especially if you don't have fires often, there's a lot of fuel. And wow, it's getting really yellow looking. Wow, all that you see, that's not cloud, that's all smoke. And again, this is about noon, 11-ish, 11:30. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's approaching midday. Well, okay, well, I hope everybody's okay wherever that's coming from, and I hope we stay that way. Okay, back to the onions. Okay, we got the white onion sets. Got the bag open. So we're going to go down here and drop them in. I've got the rest of this second row that I laid off for the potatoes from about right here to the stake. This will be long enough for the onions I want to plant today. Okay? So here's how you do it. We'll start on this end and work our way back. So you just take the onion set like this and you just drop it in the row. Plank. That's pretty much it. You can go to a lot of trouble and just kind of stick it in the ground right side up. Again, what side's right side up? Well, the pointed end is right side up. Okay? And it looks like a root on the bottom. So that's your clue. That's the bottom. This is the top. You can just stick it in like that. Get the wire out of the way. Okay? Or you can just scatter them. You know, that's fine too. Onions are pretty easy to work with. You just do it however you want to do it. Okay? So just go down through here. And you can plant them kind of thick, especially if you're going to do green onions, you know. You can scatter them a little bit thick. It's fine. A little bit thick, a little bit thin. I like to try and keep them kind of uniform, though. Again, no rocket science. I think I might have them a little bit thick here, but like holding a camera and doing this is not easy. Now I'm starting to get ash falling out on me now from this fire. Okay. They're a little thick right here. Again, doesn't really make much difference, but they'll do okay, thick or thin. Especially if you're going to harvest them when they're young and use them for green onions. Now you can just cover them up with your hands if you want to. And we'll try to get the wire out of the way. I just cover them up a little bit like that. Just lightly covered. And that's it. All right, so we've switched over to the red ones now. They work the same way. Dad's employing another method. This is where you can get down on your knees, or if you have a seat in the garden, you can do it that way, or just bend over. And you just kind of stick them in the ground and then move the dirt around them a little bit. Again, you can do the white ones this way. We've just switched to the red ones, and I thought this would be a good time to show you. You can either distribute them broadly like I showed you with the white ones, or you can stick them in like that. Again, the root side down. You just tuck a little dirt around them. And you see they're 6-7 inches apart or so. Thick, thin. Again, if they're onions you're going to grow to maturity, in other words, a big bulb, like a big slice of onion, you'll want them a little thinner. If you're going to do green onions, you can plant them pretty thick, because you're going to be pulling them up before they get a big bulb on them. And again, just to reiterate, the red ones and the white ones, and if you want to do yellow ones, they all plant the same way if you're doing onion sets. Seeds and transplants are different. If we do those at some point, I'll be sure to make a video and I'll show you then. Who's cute? Is it Sophie? Is Sophie cute? Ooga booga 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 booga. Ooga booga 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 booga. You're a cute dog. You're a cutie. You're a cutie. Can you say hi? Can you say, hello YouTube land? How are you doing? I am Sophie. I am cute. Oh, we love the neighbor dog. We love the neighbor's dog like we love our own. Yeah, we do. You want to get a kiss? Can I get a kiss? Huh? Can I get a kiss? Kissy kissy. Okay. You ready to go back to the garden? Huh? Are you ready? Are you ready? Huh? Come on, let's go. She's like, does it involve sandwiches? Maybe. Maybe later. We got work to do. Are you coming? Come on, Soph, let's go. Come on. I think she's going to hang out here on the deck. Buddy's tired. All these dogs are so tired. They've got no endurance.
Oh well. We'll see you later.
Again, we're going to wait on the good Lord to do the watering. And with all this smoke in the air, there'll be rain sooner than later, probably, because the way the particles work in the atmosphere. Acid rain, yes, but it will be rain. Anyway, so that's how you plant potatoes and onions. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, click the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Your support, however you choose to show it, always means a lot to me. I appreciate your time and attention as always. For now, I'll bid you adieu. Wherever you are, whenever you are. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.